Okay, so this video basically a guideline for those who are running Raspberry Pi W in headless mode. So the first thing that you need to have is that once you burn your Raspbian Lite into your SD card now is in headless mode. Your Raspberry Pi is in headless mode. So in headless mode means that you cannot connect to you cannot have your desktop. So normally when we run headless mode for Raspberry Pi W, we need to have our Raspberry Pi ready to be connected to Wi-Fi networks. However, for home network, it is quite easy for us to search for the IP address once we connected. But before we do any of that, to enable the Raspberry Pi, the Raspbian, to be connected to the home network, you need to have the following file in your boot directory. So this file basically allow us to connect to home Wi-Fi network. The file name WPA supplicant. Alright, so this file basically a configuration file that tells the Raspberry Pi to connect to which network. So for example here, this is the header for the configuration. The important part is here: network, SSID, PSK, and key management. So normally SSID is basically your Wi-Fi ID, your router ID. PSK is your Wi-Fi password. So you need to put it here, and also for the password also here, and save the file, put it into your boot directory of your SD card, and then save the file into that directory. Take that SD card out and put it into your Raspberry Pi and power up your Raspberry Pi. So once that completed, your Raspberry Pi should be ready to have to be connected to your network. So the second thing is that you need to know the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. However, it is quite difficult if you are in corporate network, since you cannot have your IP address ready, or you cannot get the IP address of your network from the corporate network. That can be very difficult, and for that you might need to connect using the HDMI to a monitor. Alright, but for this I would like to show you if you are able to get the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. You can just use PuTTY application, download the PuTTY application, and put the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. Press open. You should be greeted with the following. So log in as Pi. This is the default one, and the password is Raspberry. So you might need to change the password. And then next you will need to connect to your, now you are connected with your Raspberry Pi. So the first thing that you need to do, you might need to install a text editor for you to access your Python programming. So the first thing you need to do is to install application. To install application is just sudo apt-get install, and the easiest text editor is Nano. So install Nano. So mine already installed with Nano, so you are no longer you don't have to reinstall this. The second thing that you need to install is Python. So mine already installed with Python, no need to do the installation. Alright, done with that. And for headless mode, we would like to have the IP address, because this is for corporate network or even for house network also. Sometimes the IP address keep on changing. You would like to get the IP address for that particular network. So for me, what I did is that I use the Python script to get the IP address, and from there the IP address will basically email to my Gmail account. Alright, so you can do that using grub loader. So whenever you restart your Raspberry Pi, it will connect to the network, and then once it establishes the connection and get the IP address, it will email the IP address, and I can use the IP address to connect to Raspberry Pi. So that is basically the way that I use. So all you need to do is that you need to nano, you give it a name, IP emailer.python. So mine already pre-configured. So let's say you can create another one. Let's say this one, and take the file that I've given. You can just get this file. So this is basically the file. You can just copy all this and then put it into your nano. Okay, so you can just quit. But before that, you need to change a few things. Okay, you need to change a few things inside the script. The first thing that you need to change is your email address. Okay, so email address, so anything that stated the email address, you should change that. Your Gmail account, so, and then your Gmail password here, your Gmail account here, your Gmail account here, and also here. So that you need to change. Save that, and then copy paste into your Raspberry Pi Python script. Alright, then you can test. Okay, you can test by using Python IP emailer.python. Wait for a while. Okay, you should have this IP address. Right, so you need to check your email address. You need to check your email. Okay, so it should return you with the following email, Raspberry Pi 0 IP, and you get the IP address. You can use this IP address every time you restart your Raspberry Pi W. However, before that, you need to put your Python script into grub configuration. So to do that, you need to type in the following: grub cron tab into your cron tab -e. So you need to edit your cron tab file. So your cron tab file, you should write the following: attribute sleep 60 and Python, and the location of your Python script, home pi IP emailer.py. The second one, that one is for my another project. Okay, so you can just use that and save. Quit by Ctrl X and save the file and restart. Okay, so your Raspberry Pi should be ready with the headless mode and IP emailer to email you with the address. That's all.